This is Matt Smith's Confidential Primetime. You're tuning in to Confidential on BBC Three.
It's all set in a creepy hotel.
A Doctor Who story set in a hotel with lots and lots of corridors and doors. That struck me as very Doctor Who.
It is disturbing and scary.
There's ventriloquist dummies.
We've got such a good monster.
David Walliams is in it, who's brilliant.
We've all got to face some big fears.
Check in with Confidential as we reserve you a room with a view of all the backstage action. February 2011, and the Doctor Who team gather for the script read-through for episode 11.
Right, everybody, welcome to Toby Whithouse's God Complex.
Let's dive in. I shall be reading out the stage directions very, very fast. It looks like a perfectly ordinary hotel corridor. Doors on either side, some with shoes placed neatly outside for polishing. We follow the back of a woman, Lucy Miller, as she plods along the corridor. She wears a police uniform. She steps outside a random door, opens it, peers into the bedroom. When I'm stuck alone in a hotel, I always think it's a bit creepy and a bit strange, and you can get lost so easily. Well, I can anyway. So I suggested that to Toby. For some reason, there's a hotel, the corridors shift around, and what can you do with that?
You were surprised to be back in reception. You said you'd walked in the opposite direction.
The walls move, everything changes.
You, clever one, what's he talking about?
The hotel in the God Complex is a sophisticated prison that's going around kind of plucking up sacrifices and tributes.
So what have we got? People being snatched from their lives and dropped into an endless shifting maze. It looks like a 1980s hotel with bad dreams in the bedrooms. But apart from anything else, that's just rude.
But this is a hotel you definitely wouldn't want to stay at. Finding your room isn't a problem, but finding your way out might be.
The hotel is essentially a maze. And it struck me that obviously you want a threat, you want some kind of monster, some kind of creature. What creature would you have in a maze? And it struck me as the most logical thing to have in a maze would be a Minotaur.
See Spencer walking that corner.
Walk which corner?
You know, the route that he would take.
Okay, so just coming into that, Spencer, stopping in the middle and then going out towards that door. Okay? Shh. Yeah, then. Let's turn over, please.
The Minotaur looked really amazing, and it was just really weird, like it was all hairy. It was really cool, that monster, wasn't it?
But this Minotaur didn't start off so hairy. In early 2011, actor Spencer Wilding went to Millennium FX Studios for an early costume fitting.
Basically, we can stick the head on and then stand your arm against this wall. Yeah. And then I basically just need to get some reference shots from the front and the sides.
Today we just had the first fitting with the Spencer in the Minotaur suit, just to make sure everything is working fine. There's no point in us going ahead with all the fabrication, painting it, furring, and then finding out it doesn't fit under the arms or it needs some alterations.
So we just get one more shot up front. So just stand still just for 1 second. That's it. Perfect. Excellent. Can you shift around to the side, please? That's great.
It will be painted and furred, and all the fastenings and clips and zips and whatnot put in, so that when we're on set, it'll just zip into it nicely.
With the first fitting finished, work begins transforming the suit into a scary-looking alien. After painting and furring, it's time for some Minotaur hairstyling. A couple of weeks later, and with the costume nearly finished, Spencer returns to try the creature on for size.
Costume fit is very important to get everything working together, and So on the day you're not actually trying to fiddle around to make it work, so you save time actually putting the costume on the person on the day.
Oh, it's great because it's, you know, it's like growing really with the suit and with the character. So it's the feet and then it just grows and you just connect it to the character, you know. It's when it all comes full. It's like jigsaw, put your pieces in. Once the picture's there, ready to go.
Just hold the... make sure it doesn't trap the wires.
For the finishing touches, the mask has to be painted and the animatronics wired in and tested.
What we have here is the hero head for the Minotaur. This is the fully animatronic, all singing, all dancing, as you can see, talking head. He has a fully articulated jaw, so he can talk. He also can do a chewing motion. He has lip movements, so he can snarl, but also it makes him articulate. He has his nose snort, which is that one. Then he has eyes left and right, up and down. He has a blink. The blink is, he has an automatic blink, so that he'll just blink all the time like a natural thing. But I can override that with this little device there, and I can close his eye. Or if I don't touch it, you'll see in a second, it will blink on its own. Probably won't do it now. There we go. Then he has a frown, so he can look normal and frowny. And as much as this is very clever and very exciting, if a performer wearing it can't actually act and can't actually do his job, it will look like a big puppet. 90% of the performance comes through Spencer, who has to make it live. We just do the little details, as it were.
Back on set and with the monster makeover completed, Spencer's set to test the costume and finally bring the Minotaur to life. To help make this alien extra scary, Spencer has height on his side. At 6'7", he is already a monster of a man.
He was a massive man. You know, he had like little stilts on, and I was like, you must have like, you know, leg extensions on under there or something. He got out and he was still, you know, it's like, oh hi.
With the crew ready for a take, the time has come for Spencer and the Minotaur to take to the stage.
Here we go then, and 3, 2, 1, action!
Baby! He's beautiful.
Very good. Spencer.
It was really disturbing, actually, when it was kind of running down the corridor and bouncing off the walls and things. It just looked so clumsy and big and...
When you were running, because it was a stunt helmet, it was zero vision. You just go try and lock in the memory of the nice little patterns that were in front of you as a nice little line, so it's not too bad.
I think it was a Scottish monster because it was wearing a kilt and a sporran. It totally was.
The Minotaur in the god complex is a god of a civilization who, as the people have become more secular and more religiously apathetic, the god has become redundant, and so they deposited this god into a very complex prison.
They're not doors, they're walls. Walls that look like doors. I mean, the windows are right.
The prison travels around through space, plucking people from different planets, different civilizations, who have a very strong belief system.
You're a Muslim.
Don't be frightened.
This faith is what actually feeds the creature, and it will take these people, pop them into this environment, and generally frighten them.
The rooms have things in them.
Things? Hello. What kind of things? Interesting things. I love things. Ask anyone.
Bad dreams. Wait, I'm sorry.
Well, that killed the mood.
what people do is that the more frightened they become, the more they rely on their core fundamental faith, thereby giving the creature more food.
Right, here we go. This is a rehearsal, so nice and quiet. Be camera only.
We're in a strange hotel that Lucy, who's a young police officer, finds herself in, and she's already lost her 4 companions. So it's just endless corridors and room after room after room.
Let's turn over, please. Okay, once more. Here we go. And action.
In each of the rooms are different types of fear. Each person has their own individual fear.
From the ensuite bathroom comes the sound of a toilet flushing. The door opens, the woman's eyes widen with horror as stepping out of the bathroom is a brutal-looking gorilla.
And lovely. They're not necessarily just objects or creatures. They might be slightly more thematic. For example, the character Rita, her fear is about disappointment.
A B in mathematics?
And letting down her family.
Daddy, I'm so sorry.
And so there are lots of little individual fears for things that are specific to that person.
Suddenly the door nearest him opens and out steps a man in a tracksuit, cropped hair, whistle and string. He stares at the doctor with that mixture of anger and disdain that only a PE teacher can pull off.
There's a games teacher. I don't know where I got that from.
Hello. Have you forgotten your PE kit again?
Right, that's it. You're doing it in your pants.
The doctor turns to find Howie standing in front of the next door, along, transfixed. He reaches for the handle.
Well, Howie, don't.
Too late. He's opened the door. The doctor dives between Howie and the room, and they peer in. The room is full of girls.
327, take 3.
Howie's fear is attractive, a group of attractive girls. He's obviously quite nervous.
Action, girls. And action.
He had the stutter before, and he's confronted with his fear.
Oh, look, girls. It's Howie. What's Lou doing? Klingon.
And so once he opens the door, the stutter comes back, and throughout the rest of the episode, he has to deal with it.
Shut the door.
The doctor slams it shut.
And cut it.
Once more, please.
There is a room in the hotel for absolutely everyone.
The doctor is about to move off when something stops him. One of the many doors seems to loom large in his eye, ominous but enticing. It's room number 11. He reaches towards it, opens the door and peers in.
I'm sure that the contents of room 11 are going to be hotly debated.
Of course. We don't see what the doctor has seen, but the sight before him clearly shakes him to the core.
Who else?
He closes the door. He hangs a do not disturb sign on the outside and walks quickly away.
Filming the biggest fear scene called for the Doctor Who team to turn a few heads and try their hands at some creepy puppetry.
We wanted a big, kind of bold visual image. And so we walk in and there's this kind of whole gaggle of ventriloquist dummies. There is something very macabre about ventriloquist dummies. And so we had this idea of, they walk in and there is a whole room of them. One wasn't enough. You want a whole room of them. You want them kind of, surrounding him.
With a room full of dummies, extra pairs of hands were needed to help handle them all.
Obviously, because we've got so many dummies to operate, we've had several people coming in, all lending a hand. We've had our production manager laying on the floor, operating dummies. We've had several of the runners in, doing some dummies, the rigger. Lots of people have been lending a hand today. We've basically been trying to make them talk and interact, turning their heads, trying to just put in some movements to make it look like they're talking to each other. And then that kind of creepy turn of the head, which really makes them feel quite unnatural and quite unnerving.
Here we go. So they're chattering, and action Matt comes in. They stop chattering, and all the heads together now rotate.
Look at Matt.
So bring them all the way around.
Just have a pause for a moment, just to see where your heads are.
We're filming the scenes where
Rita and all the other hotel guests